Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War. And this podcast is our thoughts and discussions about the Flames of War games and other related interests. This episode is brought to you by Tracy George and Chaos Magic. We are not claiming to be experts of the game, but just wanted to have a casual conversation about Flames of War. Without any further delay, we now make our advance onto the podcast. And here are your hosts, Tracy and Arthur.
This is Tracy.
And I'm Arthur.
Welcome to War Journal Flames of War, Episode 5, Hungary Italians.
What?
What's on tap for today's episode, Arthur?
Okay. We have 7 topics of discussion. They are, we take another look at Battlefront's front page. In the segment, Front Page News, we discuss our mid-war challenge in more war. In our hobby, we mention our future plans with our forces. We get to know a German warrior and keep your enemies close. We take another look at easily missed rules in That's New. In Recon, we talked about a YouTube show that's about German armor. And we end with another lesson on how to play Flames of War with our teacher, Sun Tzu.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Battlefront Front Page News.
All right, looking at the front page here on Battlefronts. First couple things, Vietnam, which if it was about Pacific or the Cold War, yeah, I'd be looking at it.
At some point I might look at Vietnam, but I got enough to deal with.
I agree with that one. They put up their boot camp videos back up.
And they always had it on YouTube. I kept watching them from time to time because they're really good.
Yeah, actually, that's what brought me back into the game. Well, I actually wasn't into the game. It's what brought me to the game. I was watching those.
I remember you told me about them, and I watched them all to learn how to play, so I got a feel when you started teaching me.
Yeah.
Very useful.
So you can watch those to get started, and you can watch the ones I did for the advanced rules, I guess is one way to look at it. But they are very good for, like, starting to learn how to play the game.
And they're really short.
Yeah, unlike mine. But I do go pretty in-depth in trying to explain the rules. They have that contest still about taking a picture, and I got to take a picture before this is over, before this contest is over.
How long does the contest last?
I think it was till the 8th.
Oh, just click on it.
I think it was till the 8th, so I will just have to buckle down and do it. Well, let's see. It's finally coming up here, I think. Fans only. Skip this. Okay, come on.
Skip.
I'm trying to skip it. It's wiggling at me. Saying, okay, here we go. Gallery. Well, it doesn't say. I thought it said. I think it was like the 8th or something like that. So I'm going to stick with that.
Okay, so that's on you.
Yeah, set my train. Now I see there's another podcast up here, and then there's also a battle report. I'm just wondering how do you get, like, if our podcast, how would we get our podcast advertised there? And if we did a battle report, which I've done some, how can we get it on their front page? I don't know how that comes about.
I don't either. That'd be a good thing to learn.
Yeah. Tournaments. Now, there's this UK tournament. That picture looks like an awesome place to play. It was like a church or something.
Yeah, I was about to say it looked like a church, and just in the picture, like what, 8, 10 tables?
It's hard to really tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least I think I see. I've got a bigger monitor than you do, so
That just looked like it would be fun to play.
that would be pretty cool.
But traveling to UK will be a little far from
Yeah,
this hobby.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make that one.
Well, you never know. Maybe 3 or 4 years is like, well, we're going to be in UK.
Hell, you never know.
That's me with my head being really big. Moving on.
Oh, you never know. All right, so you kind of want to change the format here. You wanted to go like 2 weeks ago question, which is like in between our podcast, and this week's question. You want to try to do both, which is I think it'd be pretty cool.
I think you mean last week's question, but is what I want to look at. But speaking of that, 2 weeks ago we did do recoilless guns.
I was hoping you would forget.
I kind of wish I did, but let's
see how bad we did. Oh, okay. Neither of us have played with recoilless guns or gone against recoilless guns, so we'll take that as...
Ironically, after that question, playing later on in World War, we talk about it, I flipped through a saw recoilless gun.
Oh my god!
Oh!
You should have just played it just to play it then. All right, so looking at the one where we totally bombed about the recoilless gun, it says mark all the statements regarding recoilless guns, and it had A, B, C, D, E, and F. And I said, I'm just going to go through. I said A, B, C, E. So the two faults I said were D and F. Okay, so that's me.
I think
You?
I think I got 100% if I was going for wrong.
You said C and F. So both of us agree that C is true. Do you know what's funny is we did true for every one of these. A, B was me, C, both of us, E was me, and F was you. Okay, so the correct answers is A, B, F. Okay, so I got two of them. You've got one of them, but we're not going to say how many we got wrong. But, yeah.
Which is all the rest.
Yeah, because C and E I was wrong on. And you were wrong on A, B, and C.
Yeah. I just
Wow, C. What was C that we both thought?
Cannot fire their guns in defensive fires.
Oh.
Or may fire as a rifle team. Oh, yeah, you got confused with flamethrowers.
Yes. Now, flamethrowers is, I think, the only weapon that can't do defensive fire. And that's what I thought it was recoilless guns, too. Both of us thought that when both of us were wrong. Boy, that just...
I had no idea what it was. And then I looked it up. And then I'm like, okay, let's play this. Oh, there's a recoilless gun.
Yeah. All right, so hopefully we do better this time. Now, this next one is 1 week ago, and we can actually look at the answers on this.
Yeah.
When we're done, we're not going to look before. Okay, this one says, what are recce teams allowed to do when reorganizing? And then there's options, A, B, C, D, E, F. So A is they can move, B, dig in, C, assault, D, shoot, E, conduct anti-aircraft fire, F, take an objective. And I think we'll just do like we did with this one, just one at a time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
So,
I see what you're talking about now.
yeah. So what are recce teams allowed to do when reorganize? So we'll just one at a time.
What's reorganizing? Is that like after they do their
Their
disengage?
pullback thing. Disengage,
Is
yes.
after doing disengage?
Okay. A, move.
I think so.
I will go no. So you said yes.
Yeah.
All right. B, dig in.
Wow. I'll say yes.
You know, this is the one that's kind of throwing me. I'm going to say, this one I'm not sure about. The digging in I'm not sure about. Okay, assault.
No.
I'm going to go with no on that also. Shoot.
No.
I agree. No. Conduct anti-aircraft fire.
If they can't shoot, I still see what it could be able to also do anti-aircraft fire, so no.
I'll agree with you on that one. Wow, we are... Arthur, why are we agreeing? Okay, last one. Take an objective.
No.
No. All right, so... Man, I was no on everything. I must...
You would be like last on
Either...
on the gun.
Oh my gosh, I want to so mess this up when I play USA. Well, we both have recon.
Yeah, we
Okay.
both have a lot of recon, and we play with a lot of recon lately, so we... Hopefully...
Well, that's part of doing this is learning.
Yeah.
So basically, I said no on everything. You said no on everything except for A and B.
Yeah.
You said they could. So we'll go down here and see. You better not have been peeking.
No.
Okay. The correct answer will appear next week. Okay, Arthur. Apparently I screwed up. I'm doing this week's question instead of last week's. I put it in the wrong order. So we'll have to
I
wait
already
till...
figured you were doing that. Like, oh, you want to do this week? So
Okay. Why didn't you correct me? All right.
I thought you wanted to do this week's for some reason.
No, I wanted to kind of do it in order that 2 weeks ago, last week, this week. So let's go to last week's, and this is one that, so you weren't cheating. You
No.
were peeking because there's no peeking on that one. Okay, so don't peek on this one. All right, now we're on This is question number 64 about mixed platoons, which was last week.
Okay,
It's in between our podcasts. Okay, can I allocate all hits to the half tracks? Okay, so here's the story. A Geppenzerte Panzer Grenadier platoon has moved in to defend an endangered objective. The platoon consists of 1 command SMG team, 6 MG teams, and 4 SDKFZ 251 armored half-tracks. The Panzer Grenadiers are dismounted and have not yet managed to dig in. A U.S. rifle platoon, go USA, closes in, intending to launch an assault on the objective, and opens fire on the Panzer Grenadier platoon. The American rifle MG team score 4 hits. The USA player did not nominate a priority target type for any of his firing teams. Is the German player free to allocate all of the hits to the German half-tracks? So your choices are A, yes, you are free to distribute hits as you see it, or B, no, the hits must be distributed among the infantry.
I don't know. But the reason I wanted to go back to this question is because it is like a extended version of that's new for our last time, because it was very similar. This that's new. That's
about allocating the hits out.
Yeah, it's very similar. So I thought we should go over this.
Okay.
And once again, I don't know. I'm gonna say, since they're armored, I'm gonna say yes.
I'm going to go no, because transports are the very, very, unless you prioritize, are the very last thing you allocate a hit to. Okay, that's what I'm going to say.
I have a feeling you're right.
They have to be on the infantry first. Unless the infantry is beyond that 16 inches, if I remember right. Then it will be, because transports are within 16. No. Yes. So, since they're all within 16, the infantry first.
Okay.
Because transports are last.
So let's look at it.
Are you kidding? All right. I didn't screw up this time. The answer's not down there. Even though it's supposed to be.
Well,
because it says answer here next week, and it's already next week.
So, on our next podcast for Front Page News, we should have
a lot.
3 answers. Or 4. Maybe.
This one I'm pretty confident on. That it has to be the infantry. So I'm feeling very confident. That recon one, I'm iffy on a couple of them.
Like, I'm fairly confident on the recon one. I have no idea. Like, I had no idea for that's new last time.
All right. Well, I got to hear recorded what we've got on paper here so we can check next time.
Hopefully they have the answer to recon so I can redeem myself.
All right. Let's move on.
More war!
Really?
All right, so we played some mid-war, and we decided to play different nationalities, not the main ones.
Yes. Well, that was the idea.
That was the idea. We'll talk about that idea. So I'll let you go first what you were playing.
Okay.
Because mine is we'll talk about that.
I had this book, so I had a chance to look through it. I decided to play Italy because...
Wait, what book was that?
North Africa.
Okay.
I had some North Africa book, and I was looking through there, and one of the lists I saw, had a lot of guys.
Yeah, it was like Russia, it looked like, or Soviet Union.
But practically, it's like for 260 points, you have about 24 stats.
I wouldn't want to paint those. Oh my gosh. That's why my Russians are still silver.
Well, I want to play this list sometimes, and
you can borrow my Russians and use them for that.
It probably needs some other guys too, But anyway, I decided I didn't want to go with that. I still want to play Italy, but I didn't want to play with a huge platoon. Mm-hmm. And also, Italy has a special rule that, you have to roll to see what kind of motivation. Or
that's right. That's at what is that thing at the top? It says,
regular, elite, and artillery.
Yeah.
Though there's no artillery in this book. So you just have the regular and elite. They're elite, which in their elite can be. Let me look that up.
Yeah, that's where you like go to that chart and you roll a d6 and.
Yeah, like on a 6, they're fearless veterans. But they most likely could be either a confident train or a confident veteran.
Well, those aren't too bad.
Yeah. But instead of going with that, I decided to go with actual Italy's elite unit, the paratroopers.
Yeah.
The paratroop companies, which is just fearless veterans.
I was actually surprised because you're normally a tank. You're a tank guy normally.
Yeah, very much so. It's like, and I actually think this time I actually used my infantry well. Last time I played a mostly infantry list, I had no idea what to do. So I felt comfortable. Like I think I used my guys a lot better this time.
And we'll talk about that game because it was a good game.
Yes, it was.
It was a good game.
Like I was worried at the very beginning. That like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then my counter fire, like, okay, this is gonna be a game. But yes, the paratroopers, because I cannot pronounce their actual name. And
We'll try your. What do you have in that list?
okay, I had 2 units of their normal squads. Another thing about Italy is that they can take a lot of German units. But where I played, I only played with like one German thing. That was the Marauders.
Yeah.
I think everything else I just took Italy. I also played with the Pioneer Company for the first time. They call them the Demolisher Platoon. And to look up those rules, like, so what did they do again? Which, part of that is like, oh yeah, they're the Pioneer Company, so big deal. Probably get to that later. I also had a machine gun company, which did a whole lot of machine gunning. Mm-hmm. That was fun. This was actually the first time I think I used a mortar. I had 2 teams of mortars, and I used them like crazy, and it did wonders for me. And I had this anti-tank. These anti-tank guns, the 4732s. I actually looked them up. They're on the base long-wise. Mm-hmm. Is a gun that takes up most of the base. Oh. That's what they were. I have to look through your Germans and point them out because there's a German gun that's like that. But I finally saw what they looked like. So okay. I should have been pointing them long ways or the short end towards you.
Oh, okay.
It's like I used them like the machine guns, like a normal base, which shouldn't have been done. But I had no idea what they looked like because I don't think there's a picture of them in this book. And I don't actually have my list here. I just go from what I remember. I also had one of my squads had like some bombs option on them, and I was gonna like blow up your tanks, but I failed my tank terror. And and I think that's just about. I think that's about everything I had.
Okay. Oh, we were playing what, 1710 points, 1,710, I think.
Yeah, I think that was right. Yeah. I also had like 9 units, which was a lot for me.
I was shocked because normally you don't have that many. Yeah. Actually, getting up to 9 is pretty hard to do normally. So.
Yeah, especially for I played Germany, and this is like Italy's elite unit. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about them. All right, so I was playing the Hungarian Corps troops, which is I think a PDF. Yeah, it was a PDF I found, one of their free PDFs. Kerik Parosazdas, something like that. Hungarian. I can't speak Hungarian, so. And so, yeah, I had my HQ, which basically I was infantry too. So I had some rifle teams, I had a mortar team in there that I allocated out, and 6 rifle machine guns, 2 platoons of those with a commander, and then I had 2 heavy machine guns, and I allocated those out to those troops also. And the rest are German.
You should really say both were German.
Okay, so I boo-booed, and the rest of the units, except for those 2 in the HQ, were German. So I didn't quite do what I said I was going to do. That was my fault. I made the list, and I didn't even realize until we were playing. It's like, this is mostly German. So I had 2 platoons of Hungarians and 1, 2, 3, 4 platoons of Germans, including and I did get an air support, which was German also. But my Germans were, I had an assault gun platoon, so I had 3 Stugs. And then I had tank hunter platoon, which were 4 Marauder 3Hs. Pitiful things. And
They're better than mine because I just had the Marauder 3s, not the Hs. So.
Then I had a German anti-tank gun platoon, which were 3 PaK-40s. And then motorized artillery, which was 4 10.5 centimeter howitzers. And then sporadic, which means I start off with 3 dice on the aircraft. So that's what I had going against you. My Hungarians, plus Germans, against your Italians.
More like Hungarians with mostly Germans.
Now we rolled up and it came up counterattack, and I was the attacker in this one. And it was a very good battle. I had to move over to get the objectives because by turn 6 I had to be within 16 inches of both objectives.
Yeah.
To keep you from winning. And to keep me from winning, you had to contest the objectives.
Oh, I had to make sure none of your guys were within 16 of one of them.
Yeah. That's right. And for me to win, I had to capture an objective. That's what it was. I was backwards, yeah. So it went to, what, it turned 7?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. And it got down to, well, first of all, you had those 1 guys that I killed their leader. You sacrificed him or something like that, and he came back alive. But somebody gives like 2+ motivation.
Yeah, but before that, I want to mention I could put a unit in ambush, and the one unit I put in ambush was my
was it Pioneers?
The Pioneers, because I could replace one with a flamethrower. I wanted one of you guys to come up, so surprise, flamethrower. But you always kept your distance away, and then since you went around me, it's like it was on your way there. Okay, I need to put them out of ambush and have them rushing towards the objective so you couldn't capture it.
Yeah, and there wasn't a good place for you to put them in ambush that you couldn't really get within 16 inches because the
deployment zone is kind of so small. And that's another thing. It's it was limited reserves.
Did you have delayed reserves?
I didn't have.
I can't remember.
I didn't have delayed reserve, but I think.
You had reserves probably.
I had reserves.
Oh, you had mobile reserves.
I had mobile reserve, but since I had infantry and I had just 1 tank, I could put everything on the board.
Right.
But
in a little dinky area.
While I was putting everything on the board, I realized okay, I have my ambush, and I have about 3 things I still need to deploy, and my deployment zone is kind of full.
Well, just think if you would have taken that one that had those Russian. I mean, all those, not saying a Russian, but 20-some stands of.
Well, that was 1 platoon. So that'd be 50 guys minimum. But yeah, I realized I don't have any room. Then I looked up the ambush rule, or not ambush. Keep getting confused. The reserve rule,
right?
And it says I can have the choice. I may or may not put
up to half or something like that, probably.
Let me look it up because I forget what it is exactly. Okay, so yeah, I had mobile reserves, and it said I may deploy any or all platoons that do not have vehicles on the table.
Right.
So it gave me the option to put in stuff in reserve that didn't have to be. And since I didn't have any more room, I decided to put 2 units in reserves, just so I had space.
Yeah. So I had to work from 1 table quarter, and I kind of swung around, kind of the long way, but it was avoiding your guys.
Yeah, because you want to. Because I always figured you were going to try to come through me, but he said
I was doing Sun Tzu. I was channeling Sun Tzu because I figured that's what you thought I would do. So that's why I started swinging myself around. I was flanking with the Stugs, and the infantry was just.
And I was oh.
Because if I can get that objective and just plop myself down on it, I can probably win the game. But, fighting you in that one little small area where you have all that stuff, I said that wasn't going to work for me.
The thing is, where my reserve came out was on the other side of the board.
Right, where I was swinging around.
So I kind of got you an appearance, or at least when my guys came out, my mortars could hit you and stun you, and then they could run up on you.
Yeah. Well, it was a good game. It got down to, well, I want to talk about that one platoon before we get to the end of the game. That's the one where you have that special rule, Avanti or Vanti or something like that. That special Italian rule that if the leader...
I think Avanti is the stormtrooper move.
Oh, well, what's the one? With
Heroism.
That's what it is, yes.
Like, Italy has a rule that every time you're a command...
Well, I think it's just one time, isn't it?
No, every time a command guy dies, you make a leadership test.
Oh, okay, yes.
You can't re-roll it. If you fail, it just dies normal. If you pass it, then they come back, and they now are unknown hero.
So he didn't get killed?
Yeah, he didn't get killed.
Okay.
He just took the energy. He's like, flesh wound. I'm gonna keep going. And once that happens, I don't get that roll anymore.
Okay, that's what. Okay. And then, so what does it give you then? If you make that roll, the guy comes back. What do you get?
The platoon always passed motivation test on a 2+.
Yes, and it was the one that came from. It was the one from reserves or something, or was it the?
Yeah, it came from reserves.
Yeah. Now I just could not get rid of that. I got him down where you were having to make platoon morale checks. I think. Finally.
Oh yeah.
And you 2+.
Yeah.
I would pin them. 2+. And so they kept just coming up because I didn't have much behind me.
Yeah.
For that pincher move after I took some stuff out, except for that group. And that group tore up. They got my machine guns. I left my machine guns and mortar behind just to try to take those guys down so I could take the objective.
And also I used the Alvanti thing there. Italy's pretty much stormtrooper move, which is kind of awesome. Instead of moving in the assault phase, they move in the shoot phase.
Oh, man. That is
so I could just close ground, move.
That's better than a stormtrooper move.
Yeah. Move, close ground, and then assaults. And then you couldn't get enough hits to pin me, so...
Yeah.
And since these guys are fearless veterans...
So, the other thing I was thinking about, okay, I came down and I was getting the objective. I had it with my tanks and the infantry. And you were coming along with those pioneers, and I could not get my airplane to come in. If I could have my airplane, every one of those guys would have been underneath the template. Every one of them.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I was down to one die, and I just could. I rolled 4. I think I had the airplane come in twice. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, one time I had it in.
It came in twice. It came in early on, and you did a lot of damage. And it never came in again until at the very end. But we realized at that point it didn't matter because you couldn't kill enough.
Yeah. And so the ending came down to where that one pioneer platoon lost their leader. They were stuck about 5 inches away from the objective, so they couldn't contest. My tanks were sitting on the objective. One bailed out, or bogged down. One got bogged down. The other one was in the forest where the objective was, so you couldn't see them. But then these other guys were coming up, and if you didn't make your stormtrooper move, I was going to win the game. That Vanti or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Because you were I think you were 7 inches away from the objective.
I made that and came up.
Yeah, and you made it so you came up. I was like, oh gosh. Then, to keep you from winning the game, I had to move that one tank, and you destroyed the tank that got bogged down.
Yeah.
You shot it.
Yeah.
It's like, if I could have got both those tanks in there, I'd been okay. So you destroyed that one. And you destroyed the Hetzer thing. It was a Marauder.
Yeah.
I was using a Hetzer, but it's a Marauder that was holding the other, being within 16 of the other objective.
Yeah.
So
kill that was game, I think.
Well, I had that one tank left, so I had to move it out of the woods and be in between the two objectives. So I'm within 16 of both. So here I go, out of the woods, bogging check, bog.
Yeah.
And that was game.
Yep, that was game.
If I would have made that, it would have gone one more round, and I probably wouldn't have won.
Probably not, because I was having trouble trying to take it out, because that was the... What tank was that?
That was...
The Stugs, right?
Yeah, that was a Stug, yes.
Yeah, at that point, I had almost nothing that had enough firepower to get through there. Except for my first in command, because he had bombs. So he was Tank Assault 3.
And another thing that really helped you, this one last thing, was my artillery. I think I got 2 rounds of shooting with it, and after that, you pinned it with your
You
mortars.
got about 2 or 3, because, like, you bombed me, and, like, pinned you with the mortars. You immediately got over that. And then pinned me, I didn't get over it. And then you shot me some more. Came out of my pinning. I fired my mortars, pinned you in, like, round 4 or 5. And then you never came back.
Yeah. I needed a 4. I could not roll a 4. So my artillery did nothing for half the game. And if I could have just pinned at some of those guys coming in.
And you also spread out a lot of your shots. Because close to the end of the game, you killed a lot, but you wiped out, like, only 1 platoon.
Yeah. You can only shoot what you can is in range and you can see.
Well, yeah, but
if your airplane doesn't come in and your artillery can't do anything.
That's true, but I had like 3 or 4 units like right in one area, and they between of them there's like down to like the last.
Oh, that's right. That's where I told you I screwed up on that one. I had these tanks shooting.
Yeah.
I had the 3 Stugs shooting. I go, I'm gonna shoot 2 at this one and 1 at this. No, I should have shot them all at that one platoon. So that's a lesson learned there.
Yeah, because like you dwindled like 3 platoons down to very little, but you didn't wipe out any of them off.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah.
I like mid-war.
Yeah, I like mid-war. I think probably for now on, I like playing Italy for mid-war, so it'd be different from late war.
No, I'll take you on with my U.S. See what that's like.
Well,
my Hungarian Germans. I'll try maybe to make a new list that doesn't have Germans in it. Or,
I also want to try besides the huge list guys I've seen before, they also have a tank company in here, and one of the tank companies pretty much Panzer IV H's.
Oh, really?
Which are expensive as all heck.
Point-wise?
Yeah. But I can use my formerly favorite tank.
All right, well, we'll have to try.
Our hobby.
All right, Arthur, in this section you wanted to talk about...
Since we started the podcast, I thought this would be a good time to reflect on what we've changed about our hobby, or rather, is there anything new we plan on getting to add to our force?
Okay.
Since we started doing this.
All right. So what are you planning to get?
Well, on the one side, it's like I'm still trying to put together my Volkssturm squad.
Okay.
I'm really, really slow. But the thing that interests me is, like, as I go to expand more, I'm still planning on starting with making a list from the Bridge of Remagen book. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten a liking for Italy,
okay,
and playing mid-war. So I'll figure I'll probably pick up a couple of platoons of Italian troops and paint them up a different color. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what color their uniforms are. I might make up my own color.
I thought you were one of those that you would want to make your own.
I might make up my own. I'm not completely kicking historic accuracy to the side.
Okay.
I'm just I'll just push it over a little. Or rather, this is historic accurate. This one not so much. But the point being is, like, I think I want to get some units of Italy and paint them their uniform completely different, so I can use them for when I play mid-war, like obvious Italy guys, because some of the lists I could take German platoons too. So it'd be a lot easier for when I play mid-war, so I can keep my Italian guys apart from my...
Oh, like, you know what? You could play Hungarian too and take some German troops, let me tell you. I speak from experience.
Sure you do. And as well as, like, in late war, if I need a different type of troop for some reason,
right?
And I have an easy way to. So yeah, these guys are this, these guys are that. So I think
okay.
That's what I'm thinking about doing, as well as, like, I saw a list of at their store. I saw some Italian troops, and they had
some at the store.
The online store.
Oh, okay.
And it was listed as early, mid, and late war. So I'm going to see if they ever some chance have a late war list somewhere. may not be a full list, but I might add it to my existing German late war list.
Oh.
And then I can actually use them as Italians.
Yeah, that's funny because that's what John, he says if he would play Italians. Because, he went to Italy for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, so he would play Italians.
I have since gained a new boss.
You need to talk to him.
Yeah, I need. I have gained a new love for Italy since I played mid-war, so I think they would be part of my expanding army. What about you?
All right, there's two things. One of them is I need to get my M3 half-tracks. So I guess that one time I was talking about, I think it was like the first podcast, talking about the British half-tracks. They were M5s. These are M3s. I don't know what the difference is. They both have stars on them. But I need M3 half-tracks so I can run around, like I want to run around armored rifles squads. And I've got one half-track.
That's not going to cut it.
No. So that, and also, so that's why I'm excited about this plastic box set now coming out of the half-tracks. And the other one is, and I'm really beginning to like these things, and this is an armored mortar platoon.
Oh.
What you have is you have an M2 half-track with a 50 caliber anti-aircraft, I should say AA because not anti-aircraft, that's spelled out, AAMG, that the commander's in. And then you run around, I've been running with 3 mortar sections, which are M4 81 millimeter MMC half-tracks. So basically they're mortars on wheels. Yeah. So I could just lay down bombardment of smoke or direct fire smoke and get them where I need to get them with these half-tracks.
You use those a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know what they look like. I mean, I know you don't use, like, you say these, not what they are, but I don't know what they look like.
Yeah, I got like the anti-aircraft or vehicles or something like that I've been using. But when you get 3 of them, and they are, I want to say they're confident veteran. You get 3 of those mortars plus the leader, 110 points for this mortar squad. Yeah.
And now that I've used mortars, I'm like, yeah, those are pretty good.
I mean, I mostly just want them for smoke. But if I do need to, like I was doing, you guys were dug in or, trying to pin, I got that option too.
I forgot my Italy guys. I could smoke with those, but it's like, I just found like I have reasons just to shoot them.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, because I was on the move, so unlike your guys, which were dug in, I was having a tough time with that. So that's the 2 things I really want to get.
Keep your allies close, but keep your enemies closer.
All right, Arthur, it's your week for keep your enemies close.
Well, I kind of brought this up the last time I did this. Like when I did my favorite take, the Jaeger Tiger. Yeah, I mentioned that there's a warrior version. I think I'm going to talk about the warrior.
Okay.
Otto Carius.
Which book is he from?
Bridge of Remagen.
Okay, Bridge of Remagen.
And now that I think about it, I wish I read his background so I know more about the man, because his rules are really interesting. They're actually really nasty. Paired up with the nastiness of the Jaeger Tiger, like his 2 special rules is you do not benefit from conceal from him.
Yeah.
If shooting over 16, he doesn't get the +1. So he's pretty much a marksman with a really large gun with pinpoint accuracy.
Man.
His downside is if he dies, the German player loses a point, and it's his point gains a victory point.
Oh, that's like Patton. Yeah. Okay.
So, and it costs 85 points, or 85 additional points
On top of
the price for
the tank.
Yeah.
Now, what is he? Is he like a first in company command? What is he?
I think you get him in. Well, he has 2 options. In one option, he replaces the company commander.
Okay.
So, and then another unit, he replaces the platoon commander of a supporting unit.
So you got choice?
So you got a choice.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, he's in 2 lists.
Oh, okay. So it depends upon the
Yeah, you take this list, you could take him as your company commander.
Oh.
Or in this list, the Yagi Tigers are support, and
Okay.
the platoon commander could be replaced with him.
Oh. Well, the only thing I can, gosh, 'cause that's just nasty. The only thing I can think of is just smoke them. Because I can't get through your front.
And then they wait for 16, because if
Yeah.
you're within 16 of
You
them,
can't see beyond 16, but if you're within 16, it's like,
smoke me, I can still shoot you, and I don't get the +1.
Or just make so many targets, like you can't kill them all.
Also, the only downside to him is like he can. There's two versions of the Yagi Tiger companies I could take. One is confident veteran, and the other is reluctant train. He can only be taken with the reluctant train group.
What's his rating?
Reluctant veteran.
He's like ready for the war to be over. But
I'm sure a lot of people is by the time Bridge and Romangan.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be maybe on the lookout for him because you'll probably throw him at me one of these times.
Yeah, I've used him once, and he was fun. It was like, I just like, okay, I'll shoot you over here, get cover. No, you don't.
I'm concealed. No, you're not.
Like, that's for me. Oh, I hit. I'm like, I could have saved. Not from the Yankee Tiger.
You got it. What was that, 17? You got a 17? Can you make a 17?
Like, do I get a save? No. Nope, breakthrough gun.
Oh, you shooting infantry. Oh, yeah. Gosh, that breakthrough gun.
Yeah. So these two combined makes them. Ooh.
That's new.
All right, this is a rule that all German players should know.
Okay.
But a lot of other countries, people that play other countries may not know. Okay, so what we got here is we got this German platoon here that's going to be assaulted. So what we're first going to do is they're going to get 5 hits on whoever assaults them. We're just going to say that. So this infantry platoon comes in, this American infantry platoon, and takes 5 hits. Are they going to have to fall back?
Yes.
You're right. Okay, we got a man-packed gun team.
They can't assault.
They can't assault. So we'll just take them out of the picture. We got a Jeep.
They can't assault.
They cannot assault, right. Unarmored vehicles can't assault. Okay, we're going to pretend, even though it's transports normally can't, we're going to pretend that this can assault. Okay, so the half-track gets hit 5 times.
Don't they gotta take like 2 saves, or it's not just hit for armored vehicles? I think I thought it's like they actually gotta like either get 1 or 2 bogged downs or destroyed tanks for them to fall back.
Well, guess what? It's an open-top vehicle. It's going to have to fall back. So an open-top vehicle, that's why like your Germans can take their half-tracks into an assault. If that half-track gets hit 5 times, it has to fall back. Okay, what about Sherman?
That one is like, I think they need to take a armor platoon needs to take like 2 bail out or destroy it.
So it's just going to come in.
Yeah. Number of hits doesn't matter. It didn't need to be bailed out.
For this next part, we won't need the infantry. We're going to be down to the half-track, and we're going to be down to the Sherman. Okay, so they're coming to assault, and actually I'm going to have 3 half-tracks. We'll do that one first. So 3 half-tracks, and 2 of them get destroyed or bailed out. Is this last half-track going to have to fall back?
I will say, I know it's true for tanks, so I'm trying to think. What rule they fall under? Do they fall under the infantry rule or the armor infantry rule? I'm going to say yes, it has to fall back.
Yes, they do. So they fall under both.
Oh, they get
Open-top vehicles suffer both.
Okay, they get the worst of all.
They get the worst. But normally that's like Germans is where that's really going to come into play. I guess my priest could come into play there. So, and of course the Shermans would have to fall back if they took 2 or more, bailed out, destroyed.
Yeah.
So that is something it's like a very small little paragraph. It's not even in the rules. So it was in your German special rules. But on page 154, like forcing the assault to fall back, it says like falling back from 5 hits. They talk about that, but they don't say, defender heavy enough, they fall back. You have to fall back and become pinned. Well, vehicles ignore pin, right?
Yeah.
So if you go back, tanks fall back from 2 effective hits. And it says, in the fluff part, not the rule part, but fluff part, it says, while infantry and open-top vehicles can be driven off by a hail of bullets, battle tanks just wade through anything that doesn't knock them out. So it's not even, if you're just reading the rules and you never get to the German part, you wouldn't know that open-top vehicles take from both the number of hits and 2 or more bailed out or destroyed.
That's very interesting.
All right, soldier, at ease. What is it?
Sir, I just got the recon report in. There's some interesting developments in it. The report says...
All right, I saw an interesting video, at least I thought it was interesting, on YouTube. It's called World War II Tanks, Assault Guns and Tank Hunters. And it was on the Winds of War, which is one word, their channel. And it goes basically, it's really just the Germans. But it goes through the history of their assault guns or tanks.
Oh, okay.
And how they came about and why and the evolution. So one of them they went through was, I didn't even know about this thing called a Stern Tiger. It's got a huge muzzle, short, but it's huge, wide. It's actually a rocket launcher. They would just drive it up and had so much armor in it, it really wasn't much they can take it out. It would just drive up and blow up barricades and stuff like that. But they go through the Marauder 1 and 2, the Elephant, Nashorn, which was the rhinoceros, which I never heard of before, Jagd Panzer IV, Hetzer, Jagd Panther, and Jagd Tiger. So they talk about those.
Okay, you got me hooked.
And the Stug 3, oh, actually a bunch of the Stugs. I mean, they just get through all these different Stugs. And Brumbar is another one. I want to say Brumbar, but I guess it's Brumbar.
I think I've regularly remember seeing the name of that tank before.
So basically, they're talking about why they came about, and one was because of Blitzkrieg. Well, artillery is an important part of it.
Okay.
Well, the artillery couldn't keep up. So they're starting to think, how do we get a motorized artillery? And that's where they first came into play, was they were for artillery. And then later they developed into taking out tanks also with them.
So did this have multiple episodes?
No, it's just one. And it is actually 45 minutes long.
45 minutes long,
Yeah.
and they go through all that?
Yep. Yeah, they go through, they actually show some of the tanks, and there's experts from different countries talking about them. It goes through facts on them, how many were produced, their good points and bad points. And some of them they talk about how many rounds they could actually hold. So that's basically it. I thought it was really, really good and informative. I wish they would have done more than just German tank hunters.
So what's the name again?
It is called World War II Tanks Assault Guns and Tank Hunters.
I would definitely have to check that out.
And I will give it a 4-star general. The only reason I won't give it a 5 is I'm not sure about some of the facts, because I read some of the comments people said, so I'm not sure about some of the facts. And there was a couple of times the audio, when they were interviewing some of the people, it wasn't as good as it could have been.
Okay.
So, yeah, I thought you would like that one.
All right, soldier, you will shape up and you will listen, because we are now going to talk about Sun Tzu and the art of war. Attention!
All right, so we're going to continue our talk about terrain, because this seems to be a very...
Appropriate.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And so we did 1 through 5 last time, so we're going to do 6 and 7 today. And this is talking about one type of terrain. So number 6, when the position is such that neither side will gain by making the first move, it is called temporizing ground. So now we got a new definition. Yeah. And I have a little note here. It says, each side finds it inconvenient to move, and the situation remains. It's at a deadlock.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our temporizing ground. So that's number 6. Number 7, in a position of this sort, even though the enemy should offer us an attractive bait, it will be advisable not to stir forth, but rather to retreat, thus enticing the enemy in his turn. Then, when part of his army has come out, we may deliver our attack with advantage.
So basically means this terrain really sucks.
Yeah, like when it takes like a skill check to get through.
Yeah. Oh,
He goes, ooh, you know what? You can attack these guys if you come in here and take care of them, and you can assault them and take care of them, but you'd have to take the skill check. No, I think I'll just pass, and you come through.
You come through.
And now you've lost these bogged down. I'm going to now take you out.
Yeah, so definitely, like, you got guys, especially 2 tanks on, like, the other side of terrain, or other side of woods.
Right.
So, like, well, why don't you come back through me? And you take that bogged down check.
Yeah, because that's what happened to me. I
Yeah.
could make them. I couldn't make one. I kept bogging down.
Yeah, you
So-
lost the game because of that.
Yeah, I did. Hey, yeah, that is true. Yeah. So I guess even though they put a bait, that's one of those things about Sunset. You can put a little bait out there to
You're like, not worth
it.
Not worth it.
So another thing to keep in mind about terrain called temporizing ground.
So, ground that just have no advantage for either side. So
If you're first.
Yeah, no advantage for either side. Like, whoever moves first loses. So you need to trick the other person in moving first.
Yep. Channel Sun Tzu. That's what I'm starting to do. That's going to be my saying.
Channel says Sensu.
That's what I'm going to do. When I'm playing, I'm going to keep that running in my head. Well, that wraps up another episode of War Journal, Flames of War. Your host, Arthur and Tracy, thank you for listening to this episode. You can find us on iTunes. If you like the episode, please subscribe and leave a positive review. You can find us on Facebook at Flames of War. And please like us. In addition, you can follow us on Twitter at warjournal_FOW. You can also find us on YouTube. Search for Tracy George, Flames of War. You can read Arthur's blog at chaosmagicwizards.blogspot.com. Finally, you can email us at warjournalflamesofwar@gmail.com. War Journal Flames of War is all one word, so no spaces are required. Also, please share the show on any social media of your choice. So, until next time, as always, have a good game.